latter was not expecting this attack, and the army of the Caliphate scored an easy victory, killing more than 10,000 Sassanid warriors.
Damn!
After that, defeating...
Alright, continuation, early Muslim expansion, very high demand for this.
His army was completely destroyed, with only 5,000 survivors managing to retreat from the field. Khalid's casualties were around 3,000. As Khalid's troops were tired after the long march and the battle, his army wasn't able to pursue the Sassanid survivors. Those were mostly the Christian Arabs who were more mobile, and they managed to find shelter in nearby Elis. The messengers from this group went to other Christian Arab tribes to the northwest asking for help, and also informed the Shah in Ctesiphon. The tribes answered the call of their kin, while Yazdegerd sent messengers to Bahman to go towards Elis. It is not clear why, as Arab and Persian sources are conflicted, but according to the former, Bahman gave command.
Hold on a minute. So, Persians, right? Which are Iranian people, right? What did Persians practice before they became they converted to Islam? What did Persians, because when you think of Iran, right? Like, I actually saw like Arab, like some, I think, was it in a comic section of a video or something like that? But I saw someone say something along the lines of the fact that Iranian people and Arab are basically like Arab, right? Like, they're basically like Arab, but they don't want to like admit it. I'm like, what? I'm like, but Persians are like their own distinct group, right? But they're just very religious per se. I know not all, because I've seen some Persians that just don't give a, they don't really like care. But when you think of Iran, right, you would think of, you'll think of it like that most likely. Like, you wouldn't really think of Iran of anything else, But still though, like, I don't know, Persians are interesting because the Persians are fighting off the Arabs here, and now they're not Arab, but they're Islamic per se. But let me continue. I'm like talking a lot already.
And over his army to another general called Jaban, who marched with the entire army to where the Christian Arabs were concentrating. The Persian sources claim that Bahman returned to Ctesiphon with his entire army. Meanwhile, Khalid moved his troops towards the city, and sometime in May fought the allied Christian Arab and Sassanid army near Elis. The details of the battle are lost, but we know that the Muslims won. The sources are once again conflicted on the number of casualties, with the Arab sources stating that Khalid's force killed 70,000 enemies, mostly through the executions after the battle, while the Persian writers think that the army facing Khalid's 18,000 was comparable in size and managed to retreat towards Al-Hira after a minor defeat.
Sounds more believable. Come on now. The Arab sources sound like complete cap. Let's be real.
In any case, in the last days of May, Khalid approached Al-Hira, which was the initial goal of his campaign. Again, the sources are inconclusive. We know that the local Sassanid garrison and their Arab allies mounted resistance for a few days, but eventually the sides decided to negotiate. As Khalid promised to spare the lives of the population in exchange for the payment of the jizya tax, the locals decided to surrender.
Oh, hold on. But you can't kill in Islam, right? You can't kill in Islam. Isn't that a sin? Because I know that Islam and the Bible are, not Islam, but like the Quran and the Bible are similar. So I would assume that You wouldn't be able. Huh? Now that I think about it, I don't even know if there is anything in the Quran that says you can't kill people. I don't know. I don't know much about the Quran, but I would assume so that you can't kill people. It's kind of ironic if that's the case that they're, killing civilians, yet they claim to be um Islamic. Okay.
The Arab commander spent the next few months building up a new administration in the region and collecting taxes. At the same time, raiding parties were sent to central Iraq and towards the border of the Eastern Roman Empire, and this raiding brought both loot and information on enemy movement. Some sources claim that the Caliphate gained a degree of control over central Iraq, but it seems that Khalid didn't have enough troops to keep such a wide region under his authority.
So he expanded that. Wow. Wow. Actually, now that I think about it, they even expanded even further than that. Because I actually did my reaction to Epic History TV, Abbasid Caliphate. Go check it out if you haven't checked it out. Oh my gosh, man. Oh, dude, that's actually yo.
Still, the Caliphate's raiding parties were not getting much resistance to the north and northeast, while his scouts informed him that the Sassanid garrisons to the northwest were still intact, with larger concentrations at Anbar and Ain al-Tamr. The first one was further away, and the direct route to it was through Ain al-Tamr, but attacking the fort of Anbar would have been more unexpected. So, in late June of 633, Khalid left half of his troops in Al-Hira and marched west towards Anbar with a 10,000 strong army. Anbar would become the first Arab attack across the Euphrates River. The details of the engagement that happened here are unclear, but it seems that Khalid's decision to attack Anbar surprised his opponents, and the leader of the garrison, Shirzad, was forced to surrender after the Arab archers showed their effectiveness. Then the Caliphate's raiding parties approached the town of Ain al-Tamr from the direction of Al-Hira, so when Khalid engaged the Sassanid troops, mostly made up of Christian Arabs from the west, in July.
Wait, Christian Arab? Who are those people? Christian Arab? What does he mean by Christian Arab? Like, they were Christian and they were Arab at the same time? What? Christian... Wait. Oh, wait. I think he means, like, ethnic Arab that are Christian. Huh. That reminds me of something. I remember I was talking to my Muslim best friend about the whole Jesus thing, because I was like, oh yeah, I wouldn't mind like converting it to Islam, but the only thing that's really stopping me is how they believe in Jesus. And then she said something along the lines of that the Quran said that when God returns or something, that those who believe that the Jesus who died on the cross was the real Jesus are gonna get their heads cut off or something like that. I'm like, what the heck? Like, me personally, like, I don't really think God would do that. Like, like, no. Even if it does turn out that the Jesus on the cross was fake, right? I don't really think God would like look at, all of these people and then just like just cut their heads off. Like the genuine people who believed in him, because at the end of the day, they still believed and they still had faith in God. So I already think God would, even if the Jesus on the cross was fake, frankly speaking. But yeah, that's like my one main issue with Islam is the disagreement with how they view Jesus, frankly speaking.
He was able to win with relative ease. The leader of the Christian Arabs was taken prisoner and then executed, and the city surrendered to the Muslims. Events of the next few months between July and September are shrouded in mystery, as some sources claim that Khalid was staying in Anbar and Ain al-Tamur, slowly setting up the administration of the newly acquired region, which seems uncharacteristically passive for him. Others claim that the last two remnants of the apostate activity of the Ridda Wars were to the south, so Khalid moved most of his non-garrisoned troops towards Dormat al-Jandal and helped his fellow Caliphate general, Ayad bin Ghanem, defeat the rebels in the region. This inactivity or absence gave some time to the Sassanids, and they started recruiting and concentrating 5 armies in the area between Mazaya and Husaid. Keka bin Amr, who was left to command the garrison at al-Hira, ordered the raiding parties in central Iraq and the garrisons of Anbar and Ain al-Tamur to take positions to the south of the Sassanid forces, delay them as much as possible, and not allow these 4 small armies to unite into one force. At the end of September, Khalid returned to al-Hira alongside the troops he picked up around Dormat al-Jandal and ordered Keka bin Amr and Abu Layla to lead portions of the garrison to Husaid and Kenafis respectively and take command, while his troops rested in the city. Apparently, small Muslim and Sassanid armies fought minor battles in October, and the Sassanids suffered minor defeats, which compelled them to retreat towards Muzayyah. Khalid now had an open route to the Sassanid capital, Ctesiphon, but the Sassanid army at Muzayyah and the concentrations of the Christian Arabs in the area between Sani and Zumail were still a threat, so the Caliphate commander decided against attacking Ctesiphon. The main Sassanid army at Muzayyah probably considered its position to be safe, since it would be difficult to attack them without going through Sani and Zumail. At the same time, Khalid knew that attacking the majority light cavalry Arab Christians could push them to the north to unite with the troops at Muzayyah, so Khalid devised a plan. His army was already divided into 3 corps, and they moved directly against the Persians using the desert to avoid Sani and Zumail. This was technically very difficult, as all 3 corps had to not only bypass the enemy armies without being detected, but also arrive at the decided location simultaneously. It was risky, but the possible reward was also high.
Oh my gosh, dude. I swear, every single time I learn about these great historical generals, they all have one thing in common. They always go through impossible terrain. Napoleon, the Alps. Hannibal, the Alps again. Not just that, but he also went through those dirty marshes. I think that's how he lost his eye. Like, and a lot more historical leaders. Hell, if you want to say Mr. Mustache Man going through the Ardennes, hell, you could use him. Am I right? But I swear, all of these leaders in history, bro, they always have one thing in common. They always go through impossible terrain. I think Alexander the Great also had a case where he went through, like, impossible terrain, right? Yeah, Alexander, yeah, obviously. Who else can I think of? I don't know. I'm still quite ignorant about a lot of historical figures, so, bro, some of the comments that y'all just tell me, bro, I be reading this, I'm like, holy heck, am I ignorant, bro? I'm like, damn, there's a lot I do not know. But I seriously do enjoy reading a lot of those comments, though. They actually do, like, give me, like, a lot of insight, and they honestly do enlighten me a lot, so, do keep commenting.
Everything worked as planned. Khalid's corps converged on the target at the same time, and during one of the nights in the first week of November, his 20,000 attacked the sleeping Sassanid army of comparable size. The latter was not expecting this attack, and the army of the Caliphate scored an easy victory, killing more than 10,000 Sassanid warriors.
Damn!
After that, defeating a smaller Christian Arab force seemed easy, but instead of confronting them head-on, Khalid repeated his three-pronged maneuver to avoid losses. The Muslims suffered minimal losses, while the Christian Arabs lost more than half of their army. Apparently, a few recent Muslim converts were among the killed, and their families sent an appeal to the Caliph Abu Bakr to punish Khalid. This rejected appeal was sent through the future Caliph Umar, and will become important for our story down the line.
Oh, really?
Khalid's mobility and the inability of his opponents to consolidate their forces meant that the region between Muzayyah and Al-Hira was now under the control of the Caliphate. We have sparse information on the early administration of these lands. The Muslim sources claim that while the Persians living in the cities were often taken captive and enslaved, the local Arab population was forced to pay the jizya tax, but was otherwise allowed a degree of autonomy and even freedom of worship. More raids were sent across the Euphrates in the next month, while Khalid was contemplating what his next move should be. Attacking Ctesiphon was still dangerous, as—
Alright, hold on. Are we at the end? Alright, yeah, we're at the end. Alright, so that one wasn't very, like, crazy. It was just a bit of details going on. You know, not too bad. If you reach the end of the video, you know, make sure you like it. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more historical content, because, you know, I will be expanding my channel in the very near future. Alright, like I always been saying this for like a good 2 months, like, hey guys, I'm planning to expand my channel. It's just that I don't have my equipment. Like, I can get my equipment right now. I could buy it if I really wanted to, but I don't have room to put it, right? So trust me, big upgrade coming in my content quality. So yeah, do subscribe for that, especially if you like what I have to say. Look, I know I'm talking slow. It's like 4 a.m. in the morning. I have work. I'm gonna go to sleep right after this, wake up, edit this video, post it, then go straight to work. But yeah, man, if you like me, you know, support the channel by liking, maybe send me a super chat, because my channel is monetized. So I don't know, if you want to send me a super chat, you could do that. So yeah, thank you for watching, and stay tuned.